Ah, what? Wow. We should feel like we can do and love our hobbies and what we love without justification. Hello friends, my name is Benoit Kim, a UPenn educated licensed psychotherapist and your favorite yapper. I hear the worst of fan service is over and it was mostly in episode 2, last week's episode. I'm excited and looking forward to more wholesome content. Assassination Zero, Vinny, Foxholes Gaming, Tirtanas, Weixiang, Samsonian, Fidelis, and Helixy, and Mina Keme are the sponsors here of today's video. I appreciate your support. Shout out to the best patron and YouTube members. Remember, you matter, you are worthy. Sit back and I hope you enjoy. Also, is this real? Is this happening right now, or is this a fantasy because of this grayed out background? This is definitely the fantasy. This is definitely the fantasy. It's not real. There's too much hormones and too much explicit materials and exposure for Gojo while he was watching the videos in attempts and in preparation to sew this final product. Master? I knew it. Oh man. Really? As soon as I said the fan service and ecchi part was over in episode 2, we're starting this with episode 3? Come on. I like how I don't know if that was just a fantasy dream or if Gojo straight up had a wet dream. Literally a wet dream. Hmm? I said wet dream as a joke, but it looks like he actually had a wet dream. I like how he looked down at his pants, probably because of the wetness he's experienced, and he looked at the doll, the Hina doll, that's been with him since he was young, when he first fell in love with his subject of passion and obsession of making Hina dolls, per his lineage of profession. I'm guessing that Hina doll symbolizes like the most intimate object slash personification in his life. That's why he said, hey, could you look the other way? Because he was embarrassed. So episode 3 is called Den, Why Don't We? Man, the clickbait nature of every episode is nuts. Remember episode 2 was titled, Let's Just Do It? Why don't we? Titles are wild. It's kind of rough. You totes. Also, Marine is not thinking about the impact of her, one of the most popular, prettiest girls, talking to Gojo, a nobody, in front of everyone watching. Remember, this hallway is full of people. All the classmates, her friends, or even acquaintances were saying, she's so cool, down to her bone. She's built different. I would love to go out with her. One day, even myself, and that was from a female classmate. Marine is the pinnacle of popularity. Everybody want to be friends with her. Everybody want to date her. And Gojo is literally a nobody. That's the whole premise. And Marine is, again, unaware of the impact of her popularity and the impact of her conversing and having this full-on, very close conversation with Gojo. Again, a nobody, according to a lot of the people in the hallway. So I find that very interesting, this parallel process. What's happening, this microcosm, this dynamic between Gojo and Marine, and the outside perception of everyone watching. I wonder what's going through people's minds. Like, who is this guy?
何話してんの？おっす、ノアだよ。
Yo!
おはようっす。おはー。
All of Marine's friends are joining in. And they're so friendly. They didn't frown. They're like, who is this guy? They literally just say, yo, I'm Noah. And everyone just saying hi. Hey, what are you guys talking about? Let us join in. I guess that makes sense because Marine is a really nice person. She is very principled. She's not a pushover, but she's very kind. She's very accepting. She's very compassionate. So by that logic and association, it makes sense that all of her closest friends are also equally nice. And just from this interaction, I could tell that there's no judgment, there's no apprehension. They're just very welcoming, even though he's a new guy and Marine's not really spoken to him before.
何気に初絡みだよね。やら。
あ、はい。よろしくお願いします。
つうかリアルに何？ん？うざがらみすなって。
Gojo was electrocuted with freaking physical contact skinship. Man, I feel bad for Gojo's hormones, biological systems. His body and his biology went through more shock the last 2 episodes than his entirety of his adolescence, his teenage years. Man, comical. じゃあね。
北川さん、学校でも変わらず接してくれるんだな。
That's deep. Gojo just said that Marine or Kitawaka-san is treating me the same way while at school. What does that mean? On the surface, level 1, it says that Gojo is surprised that she's treating her the same way back home over the weekends. But level 2, something deeper, is he's assured, he's relieved that she's not treating him as if it's a secret, that she's not playing double side, being cold to him at school, ignoring him, being aloof, and then being warm outside of school for the sake of cosplay, which means he's very transactional, which is not nice whatsoever. So that's why Gojo's really relieved that, oh, thank God. This unconditional, non-judgmental acceptance is not only outside of school when I'm only doing her a favor by making her cosplay, but rather that's who she is. She's just a very genuine person, and I feel validated, I feel seen, but more importantly, I feel accepted. No matter I'm at home or I'm at school, as long as I'm with Kitakawa-san or Marine. Called it. One last comment. I know I'm yapping extra much since the get-go because my brain just needed some processing after just non-stop fan service scenes in the beginning. Look at the stark contrast between the warm, non-judgmental, accepting vibe from Marine and her friends versus other girls in the hallway. This is exactly what I speculated. I wonder what the outside perception was of Marine talking to this nobody, Gojo. So this is typical high school psychology. Well, not high school, I guess like more adolescent, young adults psychology. Although Gojo and Marines are not quite young adults yet since they're still in high school, but you guys get my point. Remember Gojo's psychological profiling. He has very low self-esteem, a lot of insecurities. His sense of self is very shaky because of the trauma of rejection when he was a child. Marine, on the other hand, is the girl from the opposite world, title of episode 1. So as soon as Gojo starts to hear those hallway chatter, people doubting who is he, why is he with Marine, how dare he, he's a nobody, why is she talking to him, Marine's so popular, all these skepticism, all these gossip is actually impacting and really influencing Gojo in a very detrimental way. Remember, for us to stay true to who we are, our sense of self has to be very stable, very solid. But Gojo's sense of self his self-esteem, his approval of himself is very low because of all the profiling I just talked about. So because of that, now Gojo is avoiding and evading and dodging Marine because of all these doubts, all the chatter, everything I just talked about.
今日さ
See? Gojo's avoiding.
トイレじゃね
He had to pee. I'm guessing Marine didn't get Gojo's line or text or a phone number because she knows where he sits. And she's like, oh, I could just find him at school.
五条くんあっぶな帰っちゃうとこじゃん
北川さん
She found him.
五条くん今から買い物行かない衣装の材料一回見ときたくってさ
You see that? We see Gojo glaring at everyone and being too influenced by outside perception. Because we're like, oh, what's the big deal, dude? Like, this is dream come true. You're a... I'm not saying he's nobody. I'm saying that's his self-perception, his perception of himself. And I guess that's like his general reputation based on the setup of episode 1, right? So don't come at me for calling our dear Gojo-kun a nobody. Anyway, in his mind, he's like, oh my gosh, people are commenting, people are judging me. Because that's what we saw, the side glare. He's like looking around. To us, we're like, dude, dream come true. But to him, it's too much social pressure. I'd argue, based on this portrayal, I think Gojo's experiencing social anxiety. Anxiety in a social setting, that's social anxiety or social phobia in the simplest term. So because of Gojo, remember, he's usually a shut-in, he usually keeps to himself, is now getting all this social attention. Whereas Marine, she's popular, she's used to it. So that's why he is averting her gaze, he's looking around, and I could feel a lot of anxiety and struggle that's Gojo's going through in his mind right now.
すみません
See?
遠慮しておきます
えちょっと五条くん
Yo, but on the surface though, how is our man Gojo gonna go from a wet dream to ghosting her straight up? That's like 180-degree difference. But of course, like we said, with the psychological analysis, I get it. It makes perfect sense why he's doing what he's doing.
少しの間ここにいよ
You think she followed
う
him?
せっかく誘ってもらったのになすみません
謝るから逃げんなっつうの
I kind of saw that foreshadowing that she was gonna follow him and she was gonna be right next to him. And lo and behold, she was literally next to him, lurking in the shadows.
っていうか五条くん今日私のこと避けてたよね感じ悪いんだけど文句あんなら言えば
それは
Communication, yes.
北川さんが周りに俺と知り合いだった
I know they're gonna explain it, but real quick, I just want to fulfill my role as a professional yapper. Gojo said that people are going to think that we know each other. Because remember, Gojo is not avoiding Marine for his sake. Like Gojo's not avoiding her because he is afraid of being popular, although with social anxiety, with this too much pressure, this 0 to 100, because all this is happening literally just after the weekend since episode 2. But rather, because of his own insecurity and his own low self-esteem, he's avoiding Marine for Marine. He doesn't want his nobodiness taint and impact Marine's reputation. So he is avoiding her for her without her asking on her behalf. Do you guys get the irony of what I'm saying? And I'm sure Marine's going to be pissed. He's like, dude, what are you talking about? Not pissed, but frustrated.
そのなるべく人前で俺と
Called
会
it.
わない方が
Yeah.
すでに私ら友達じゃん
Aww. Wordy friends.
でも実は付き合ってるのかとまで言われてるのが
付き合っちゃう
そんな
Oh, okay.
なんつってほら
Wow. Dude, Marine Kitakawa is straight up a bro. She's so cool.
どこに行くんですか
だから買い物
She's so cool.
今は結構みん
Wow.
ハロウィンとか。
なるほど。そうだ。
I think I shared this in episode 1 that I would love to go to Comic-Con in LA since I live in Los Angeles, but it's just such a multi-day event. It's so expensive and it's so crazy with the scheduling, but I'd love to go. Anyway, I'd love to hear in the comment section where has anyone went to a cosplay event before, some sort of a convention, and what character, if you did you cosplay? And if you haven't, and if you like to cosplay, drop down some of your characters that you love to cosplay in the future, maybe for Halloween. But it's so cool that they have cosplay sections in supermarkets or stores, like the mall.
すごい。
しずくたんの三面図を描いてきました。
Multi-view design.
スナ、コ
Wow.
ンタクトレンズ、ガーターストッキング。
Whoa.
っていうか、首輪は？
あれって自作できるんですかね。
VK ショップならあるかも。
I guess as the audience, we have this 4D dimension privilege of already seeing the final outcome of the Gothic Lolita look that he talks about. Since Marine only has access to the drawings, whereas we saw the final product in Gojo-kun's wet dream. Man, I can't believe that's how episode 3 started.
どう？
そうですね。
Wow, just a touch, he knows. Just by touching the fabric. Oh, cool animation style.
はそれなりの制服を着てるはずですよね。
Dang.
光沢のある
Yo, Gojo's attention to detail, his professionalism, his craftsmanship. Oh, she's an upper class person. So her materials, her outfit should reflect our more refined fabric, a nicer, more expensive materials. Why? Because she's of an upper class. Gojo's even thinking about the cosplay character's socioeconomic status in sewing the cosplay outfits. That dedication, dude, respect. Wow. Wow.
でもさっきの生地の倍しますね。
Oh, that's expensive.
そうだ。俺今日買い物するつもりじゃなかったんで手持ちがないんですが。
下ろしてきてるって。使ってください。
Bling, bling, bling. Mama went to the bank. Obviously, she invited him to go shopping. So obviously, she came prepared. But Gojo's like, I think his brain's capacity has compromised to half since he met her because of, you know.
で貯めたんだし。
Wow.
逆に使ってくんなきゃ意味ないから。
True. Very good reframe. Cognitive reframe. Aww.
んじゃ、どんどん行くよ。
So I just want to quick pause and highlight and really spotlight Marine's smile when she said, all right, cool, let's continue. That smile is the purest, untainted smile of happiness, a joy and happiness by doing what she loves. That joy, the spark, is only possible if you're willing to take a risk to pursue the things that you want to do. Because if you don't try, whether that's your hobby, it's that girl or boy you wanted to ask on a first date, trying out that major, taking that class that seems risky, might impact your GPA, but you're so interested in it. You're really interested in the subject matter. You want to take on that job, that interview, but maybe social anxiety, maybe stress, maybe limiting circumstances, whatever they are. At the end of the day, the only way to guarantee fail is by not trying. It is such a cliche, but it is true. At least give it a shot. And then maybe one day you can also experience this untainted purity of joy by trying and doing what you love. I love this Disney-like music theme in the background. Are we in Disneyland right now? Very nice.
こんな感じか。
Whoa! It's a lot of wigs. Oh, so Gojo also really appreciates wigs because he uses wigs for his Hina dolls because those Hina dolls also wear wigs, right? Of course, different sizes. It's more miniature, but see, another common interest and appreciation for finer things like wigs. For Marine, it's for her cosplay. For Gojo, it's for his Hina dolls. But of course, cosplay right now is the bridge.
こんなに種類があって
Yeah, it's got a lot of different shades.
どれも綺麗だな
Aww.
五条くん
お
これじゃん黒のミディアムうん雫担当紙だしこれ買おうよ
北川さんこっちの色にしましょう一見黒のようで艶が紫の方が雫炭らしいと思うんですが
だよね
北川さん
She had no idea. Wow, purple hair.
いませんロングを切って使いましょう
オッケーサロンでカットしてもらう
Dude, Gojo's attention detail is unbelievable. Not just the colors, not just the material, but also the symmetry of the wig. What?
今日一人で来るつもりだったんだけどさっきの店でもここでも
True. I mean, you have an expert.
五条くんがいてくれて
Just from this back scene, dude, Gojo and Marine, they could 100% be a couple. I mean, look at the back. Gojo's tall, fit. Marine's also pretty tall, long legs, according to those classmates in the hallway. Their back look looks really good together, right?
ちゃんと役に立ててたんだ
Gojo said I was actually useful after Marine said thank you. Again, that's a reflection of Gojo's low self-esteem, shaky sense of self, a lot of insecurities. Because remember, he wants to feel, not just him, all of us want to feel useful. All of us want to feel like we're being helpful. All of us want to feel valid as a society member, as an upright member of a society. But the thing is, Gojo, you're not a thing. You're not a tool. You're not a screwdriver. Screwdriver needs to be useful, but you're a person. Your existence in itself is important and valid. I think, therefore I am. Because I have thoughts, because I'm thinking right now, therefore I am alive. I am here. That's a very oversimplified interpretation of Descartes' saying, right? I think, therefore I am. But likewise for Gojo though, you exist. You are here on this planet Earth, so you matter. Even if you don't feel useful sometimes because of your insecurities, because of your trauma, because of whatever circumstances, you matter. All of us matter, even if we're not air quote useful. But the thing is, we are not screwdrivers. We're not tools. We're humans.
お待たせカラコンも一緒に買っちゃった
荷物持ちますよ
あ、サンキュー
He's trying to be more
じ
useful.
ゃああとは
Whoa. No
スター
transition.
ターとストッキングどうぞご覧ください
This is straight up a couple activity, dude. Like, straight up a couple activity.
北川さんあとどのくらい
Why is he standing right outside the changing room, bro? You could have picked a different corner. You don't have to be right outside. No one's gonna barge in. Unless Marine asked you to stand right outside of the changing room? What? Even husbands and wives don't do that.
いらないし
ですけど男がいたら他のお客さんが嫌だと思うんですが
割とカップル
No one's watching.
すごく肩身が狭い北川さん
いい感じじゃない
見えてますよ隠してください
っていうか今日付き合ってくれたお礼しなきゃなみたいな
からかわないでくださいこ
声で
Yo, also Gojo's like, I'm so embarrassed right now. He's literally screaming.
ごちそうさまでした。
Ooh. Chilled soba. I love soba noodles. Ah.
朝礼の時、全校生徒の前で射精が止まらなくなっ
Ah. What?
何笑ってんだよ体どうなってんのみたいな
I mean, every generation is more forthcoming and more forward than the previous, but yeah, I mean, I don't think they're this wild. Like, but the guy character from that cosplay, whatever manga series, who goes to an all-girl school, was jerking off nonstop on day one of school in front of all the girls. Like, what is this? A compulsory masturbation syndrome, which is actually a medical disorder. It's people who are compulsively jerking off and they literally can't stop. It's not to make fun of it. If you are diagnosed, it's an actually serious medical disorder where the compulsion is too strong and you can't really stop. You need to receive psychological help, psychotherapy, and so on, because it's about impulse management. It's about compulsions right here. It's the compulsory masturbation syndrome. I don't know if the guy character from that manga had that disorder or it was just hormone overload as the only guy in an all-girl school. But dude, what kind of series is that?
そのまま型紙も起こします。
マジやっばーい衣装できたらどこでコスしようかな
専用の場所があるんですか？
マジ合わせしたりがメインの撮影イベントに遊園地貸し切ってある大型撮影会とかスタジオ借りで撮影したり自分家で撮るタクコスとかあとコスしてプリ撮るのもやってみたいかも楽しみ方は人それぞれって感じ
Yeah.
なるほど。
あとは撮った写真を SNS に上げたりとかねあとこの人ジュジュさんマジ可愛くない私ジュジュさんめっちゃ好き
Juju san?
魔法少女とか女児アニメ系やってて超美少女だしコスト写真のクオリティも半端ないからフォロワー数もエグくてでもイベントとかは出てないっぽいし謎の人っていうかガチでって感じ
随分幼く見えますね。おいくつくらいの方なんでしょうか？
中学生とか小学生だったりして
Whoa, super young.
これフラワープリンセス列の変身前の二階堂使用タンゴスこれガチです
Okay, I'm glad Marine is not only into domineering, whatever, sex slave master cosplay stuff, but she's also into super wholesome, like middle school flower girl, more wholesome cosplay content. So respect, at least Marine's, she has diversity of interest with her cosplay background.
黒髪好きですよね。
五条くんもでしょ
まあその
Good recall.
この人もやばいめっちゃ綺麗人黙ってるけど五条くん的には綺麗じゃないの
いえ、そういうわけじゃ。
じゃあ何
その
Ja, nani?
気分を悪くしたらすみません。一人っ子なんで、ひな人形はじいちゃん家で初めて見たんです。
Right, beginning of episode 1. Man, they're so well made. These Hina dolls, that delicacy, the intricate sewing. Love at first sight.
こんなに綺麗なものが世の中にあるんだって感動して。
Wow. Kamdong, which is what they just said in Japanese, is touched, but also in Korean also means touched. Kamdong. Like I was so touched. I was so moved. Aw, he's reminiscing about the origins of his passion.
綺麗っていう言葉はこういうもののためにある言葉なんだって。
Oh.
あの日から俺にとって綺麗は特別なものにする言葉になって、心から思った時でないと言えないと言いますか。
Wow. Dude, Gojo is a purist. Like, Gojo, you are truly a purist which with purist means like a group of people who are extremely pure, sometimes almost to like a too extreme level. So I don't know how extreme Gojo is, but purist is not, I don't think it's a negative connotation. It just means a group of people who are super, super dedicated and pure about a certain aspect of craftsmanship, creative field, and so on. But he's a purist in terms of he can only dedicate the word and term beautiful towards hinadous because that's the first time he felt something was beautiful when he first laid his eyes onto those hinadous, which was the beginning of episode 1. And so because of that, he can't really say, oh, they're so pretty, they're so beautiful, with all the cosplay people that Marine's showing him. That's 2 things. Level 1, he's very authentic. He's very real. He's not fake. Level 2, I think the only other exception that allows him to use the word beautiful is Marine, your very own Marine, Kitakawa-san. So I think 2 things are beautiful in Gojo's mind. Hinadous, the subject of his passion and love, and 2, subject of his soon developing romantic interest, the female protagonist.
お雛様ってマジの美人に作ってあるわけでしょ。
That's true.
五条くん超面食いじゃん。
そういうつもりじゃすみませんうまく言葉にできなくてでも決して否定してるんではなくてですね
五条くんが自分でそう決めたんならいいと思うけど。
Yeah. One thing I always tell my clients in my psychotherapy session is you should, and although I hate the word should, because anytime we say the word should, it makes us feel bad because it means we ought to. But should also implies that there's arbitrary standard, arbitrary expectations. I should do this. According to who? Are you being intentional? Etc. etc. Anyway, my point is I don't like the word should, but I'm using it very purposefully here with what I'm about to say. We should feel like we can do and love our hobbies and what we love without justification, right? We should be able to profess and embrace what we love, hobbies or not, without justification. So that's why I tell my clients, hey, you shouldn't have to justify. When you tell me you like something, when you tell me about interests, when you tell me about some of your backgrounds, when we're doing our intake, a session, you don't have to justify. It's your life story. You are the experts of your life, full stop. So at least in my sessions, I encourage all my clients, hey, you don't have to justify. You tell me what you want to tell me, and that's it. I take them at face value. I don't have all these other thoughts like, oh, why are they saying this? Like, no. Non-judgmental compassion is the primary pillar I operate clinically, right? So that's what Marine is telling Gojo here. That, hey, that's great as long as you decided that. As long as you decided that. Not because what people tell you, what society tells you, all the conditioning, propaganda, indoctrinations, etc., etc. So what Marine is saying, what I'm saying in different words. That, hey, Gojo, don't justify. Don't over-explain yourself. You like what you like. And beautiful has a special meaning in your place. Amazing. Thanks for sharing.
こだわりあるし。
父袋で
True.
したっけ
待ってやばい。しかないんですけど。
Wait, what? Oh.
くんマジでいらなかったの？全然おごるのに。
はい大丈夫です
じゃいただきます。
Oh. Oh, that crunch.
よく入るな
でも今日結構使っちゃったな。バイト増やすか。
あやっぱりラーメン代払います
Hmm?
マジでいいんだって。
What is this dramatic pause?
なんていうか嬉しかったし。
Aww.
これいいよって勧めても。
Aww.
っていうかぶっちゃけ五条くんもヌルジョやってくれるなんて思ってなかったんだ。ごめんね。
Yes, he did. He's a pro.
詳しくなってるし。
Aw. Oh, this is a perfect romantic scene right there. What a shot.
正直お金出すことだけだし。っていうかこの肉ま
Marine is not just expressive. She's not just being assertive, confident, without compromising her values. She is nice. Yes, all those are characteristics of Marine. But another thing, she's really, really thoughtful. And she's really genuine. She means what she says in the most genuine way. And I think Gojo is going to learn the power of words, the power of communication in a very thoughtful way without compromising his values from Marine. Because Marine embodies that perfectly. Much respect.
ほら
Couple activity, sharing snacks.
もう十分ごちそうになったので。
What happened?
今こいつめっちゃ食うなって思う。
That is not what he was thinking.
思ってません。
思ってんじゃん。別にこれぐらいじゃ出番なんし、サイズも変わんないから平気って。
思ってません。本当に思ってません。
あと私米食べないとお腹膨れない人だし、そういうことだから。
はい、わかりました。
いいよ。
So this is what I love about the writer and the show. I think, again, I don't know if it's purposeful. I think it's just genuine reflections of the writer's own interest in cosplay. And this is her show, right? She can write it however she wants. I think that every episode so far, here's the setup I've gathered. Starts with super ecchi, a lot of hentai stuff, a lot of fan service, kind of throws you off. And then when you're least expecting it, the episode always ends with a very deep and wholesome scene and message. Here's the same way in episode 3. I just talked about Marine was trying to tell Gojo that, hey, you don't have to over-explain. You don't have to over-justify who you are, what you like. Just do you. Full stop. And then what happens? In a very comical sense, comically, Marine, her own insecurity of, I guess, pigging out and eating a lot in front of a different guy, and she felt judged. Although Gojo had no judgments about her eating. It was more about, wow, she's so nice. I was so useful. Like, I can't believe this is happening. All that, right? And obviously, he was blushing because of the indirect kiss from the offer of that snack. But in her mind, she felt a little bit insecure because body dysmorphia and body image insecurities it's universal. It's almost ubiquitous, especially among adolescent girls because of social media, unrealistic expectations, body image, etc., right? So because of all these social expectations, I think she was like, are you judging me? Da, da, da. Right? But my point is, the ending is so wholesome because Marine was just telling Gojo that, hey, don't over-justify. But right after, she was over-justifying why she was eating, right? But that's the deep part, is that when we are with those that we feel safe and comfortable with, we don't need to over-justify. We don't need to over-explain. We can just be who we are, and those that accept us unconditionally will accept us regardless. Whether she's having 4 rice balls at night, 4 bowls of ramens at dinner, and still eat snacks and dessert and ice cream, so what? It's her life. As long as we're doing it in a healthy way, because health is wealth, right? Anyway.
衣装のサイズは絶対守る。
そうだ。そのイベントっていつあるんですか？
ね。ちょうど2週間後にあるみたい。
2 weeks.
電車乗り遅れちゃうから先に。今日はありがとう。じゃあね、五条くん。
It's the opposite? Oh, it's in 2 weeks. Dude, the deadline is in. How is he gonna sew that from scratch in 2 weeks? While having his full-time high school and him making henna dolls, which is his first passion and first hobby, and also helping Marine making out her outfit. That's gonna be intense. Anyway, without further ado, smash a thumbs up if you enjoy my in-depth analysis and my commentary, and press the subscribe button. Support your favorite new yapper And also join our Patreon and YouTube memberships for early access and voting power for a future series. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. And remember, you matter. You are worthy. And you don't have to over justify who you are. Until next time, peace.